Hello, pre-calculus students. Welcome back to another episode of your Chapter 1 study guide. This is Mr. Salas coming to you live from a top secret location once again. Now, it says, find the inverse of g of x is equal to the square root of 2x minus 1. It says, state the domain for the inverse. A rough sketch of the graph may help. So before we even worry about a domain, we're going to go ahead and just focus on finding the inverse. So if I want to find the inverse, I'm not going to say g of x is equal to the square root of 2x minus 1. I'm going to go ahead and say y is equal to the square root of 2x minus 1. Okay? 2x minus 1. Perfect. After that, I'm going to switch the variables. Remember, when you're finding the inverse, you switch the variables. So I'm going to go ahead and take this y that's going to become an x, and I'm going to go ahead and do the square root of 2y minus 1. I'm going to go ahead and solve for y. My goal is to isolate y, to make y be by itself. Okay? So in order for me to get rid of a square root, I have to square both sides. And I end up with x squared is equal to, the square root gets canceled with the square. I get 2y minus 1. Next up, remember the goal is to get y by itself, but I cannot get rid of the 2 because there's a minus 1. So I have to do plus 1 plus 1. I'm going to go ahead and write out my work over here. So I should end up with x squared plus 1 is equal to 2y. Whoops, let me see. I can do that y better. There you go. Next up, what I want to do, I want to divide by 2 on both sides. Divide by 2 on both sides. And my y is equal to x squared plus 1 over 2. Or I can make it look a little bit more clean by saying, or y is equal to 1/2 x squared plus 1/2. What did I do there? How can I write 1/2 x squared plus 1/2? I split the fraction, okay? I split this, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and write split. I split the 2. In other words, I could have kept the x over 2 on the top, or yeah, so basically what I did, I gave the 2 over here to this side, and I gave the 2 over here to the 1. So that's how I ended up with that, okay? So this is our inverse. This right here, this is our inverse. So what is the domain? What is the domain of this function? Well, I know it's a parabola. So I'm going to do a rough sketch. I'm going to do a rough sketch. This right here is my origin. That is 0, 0. So now, if I want to type it on Desmos, I'll just go to Desmos. Let me see right here. Whoops. That's something else. That's for my Geo class. So Desmos graphing calculator. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and type that in so you can see where my graph is going to start. You're going to see that my graph is going to be shifted to the, since it's a positive half, let's go back over here. Since it's a plus 1/2, it's going to be moved over slightly to the left by half. So let's type it in. 1/2 x squared plus 1/2. Whoops. Let me see. Okay, so it's been moved. Oh, never mind. Whoops. It's moved up by 1/2. My apologies with that. I'm so sorry. It's a little bit late, so yes, I'm gonna blame the lateness. Okay, but anyways, it's been shifted up by a half. Okay, so this right here would be half. This would be 0.5. So my parabola looks the same. Okay, so there's my rough sketch. So what is the domain? I'm looking at all the high values and all the high x values and all the low x values. So since I'm talking about the whole entire parabola, I can say that my domain, whoops, why did it make it into domain? Sorry, I think my computer's just done with me tonight. It doesn't want to respond to me. That's the domain. The domain goes from negative infinity, because that's our lowest x value, because it keeps going forever and ever in the negative direction, and our highest value is positive infinity, because our domain keeps going forever and ever in the positive direction. Okay, so that was our domain. So did we find the inverse? Yes, we did. This was our inverse. Did we find a domain? Did we state the domain for the inverse? Yes, we found the domain for the inverse. Perfect. Okay, we are done with this problem. See you in the next one.